Listen, I was getting comments of people saying they didn't like my nose piercing. I think it's adorable. Hi guys, my name is Beatrice. If you don't already know, I'm a full-time student and I'm going to be showing you today how I managed to study and learn languages while also studying for my economics university degree. So, if you work full time, if you're a student, you're a stay-at-home mom and you want to make time to study languages and learn them, then this video might be helpful for you. I'm at university a lot of the time, and when I'm not, I'm usually studying. So, the language learning passion, I'm not going to let it die. So, I need to find ways to keep it alive and fit it into my day. And that's basically what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I'm here to show you some sneaky and not so sneaky ways to fit language practice into your 24 hours, which is more like 8 hours, which is more like 4 hours if you include eating, sleeping. And yeah, you get the point. Okay. If there's something useful that I haven't mentioned, put it in the comments because somebody else will definitely find it useful as well, including myself. And yeah, I'm just going to get into it. These tips aren't written out in any specific order, it's just written out randomly. But the first thing I'm going to say is plan out what you want to study before the time comes. And the reason why I say that, because usually, like, half of the mental, like, back and forth and the struggle is figuring out where to start and what to do. So if you've already planned out what your task is, when it comes to doing the task, you kind of just sit down and do it. This is mainly just to save time because for me, a lot of the time, when it comes to like, oh yeah, study Spanish, oh, like study French, that's really vague. Like, that's really vague. So definitely have it already planned out what you're gonna do. So that in the short period of time you have, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's half an hour, maybe it's an hour, maybe you're lucky, maybe it's a whole hour. But during that time, you're not wasting more time planning out what to do because you've already done that. So it just makes it a lot easier to jump into it and make the most out of your time. The good thing about like making a plan and stuff, it doesn't have to be like anything high tech or detailed or anything, is that you only really have to make it once and then you can kind of keep the same plan for like a month. Because that's what I do. Like, I'll have like five, six different things I want to do. That can be watch something. When I say watch something, I'm always talking about SpongeBob. Or it can be do a flashcard deck on Spanish dictionary or Anki, or it can be read 10 pages. Like, basically, I'll have like 5 or 6 tasks, and those are the tasks that I'll do for the next month. You know what I mean? So it just makes it a bit easier because sometimes when it comes to studying languages, you're spoiled for choice. Like, you could either do a textbook or you could do an online course. Like, there's literally so many things you could do each day, and you literally get decision paralysis because you don't even know what to do. Like, that's what happens to me at least. And that wastes time. I don't know where to start. So basically, what I'm saying, plan out the thing that you want to do before it comes to the time to do the thing. Something that I also really enjoy doing, but I don't do it as much because I don't live in London anymore. But when I was living in London, where there is an underground, and the underground is basically the train system. A lot of it is underground, so you don't have Wi Fi, you don't have service, you have no internet connection. All you have is like your thoughts and a book. So, what I would do during this time is instead of just like wasting it and maybe, I don't know, listening to music is fun, but it's not going to help me improve my Spanish. So instead, what I would do is open up my notes app and just start writing. Like, that's downtime. That's an hour on the train that would have otherwise just have been a simple hour on the train of me listening to a downloaded playlist, whereas instead I've turned that into an hour of diary entry of writing practice. So it's just stuff like that. Like, guys, this is the cheat code. Like, it's so simple. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there looking like I'm texting. So everyone on the train thinks I'm Miss Popular. But like, really and truly, I'm just typing on my notes. Like, I'm typing on my notes, babe. Like, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to anyone. So I'm like rapidly typing on my notes for like 50 minutes until I have to get off the train. And it just looks like I'm texting, honestly. With Spanish, I could use the English keyboard, like you can, but it's so much easier to actually use a Spanish keyboard. So, like, just download the keyboard from your settings and then in your notes, write a diary, write something. Maybe you can describe the person next to you. Just hope to God that they do not speak that language because, like, that's really awkward. This is one that I used to do, but like, I don't really do it anymore just because I'm really bad at it. But basically, you know how you can have a language exchange partner? So, yeah, I had a language exchange partner, but the only thing is, I take 3 to 4 business days to reply. Not because I'm busy, just because, like, I just don't. So, I mean, if you're the type to actually like reply and be good at messaging, then do it. This is why I do video diaries on my laptop where I talk to myself for half an hour. Obviously, it's really good to like actually practice speaking the language, which is why like I also go to language exchanges and stuff. But that's really for another video, honestly. Like I do have videos where I speak about video diaries where I talk to a camera for half an hour in my target language, and I go to language exchanges and practice with real people, natives as well. However, this video is about saving time with a language partner on your phone. You can just like text them throughout the day, as in you text all your friends in your native language throughout the day. Adding an extra person that speaks your target language and also messaging them throughout the day barely cuts into your time. So yeah, I would recommend getting a language partner, not necessarily for phone calls, but more for text messages that you can just like have throughout your day without taking up too much time, and you can keep on top of it. I just said for me that didn't work because I don't reply frequently enough to maintain a stable language exchange partner. So yeah. Okay, this one I really love. I really love this one. Listen to the same podcast over and over and over. And the reason why I say it has to be the same one over and over and over is because the first time you listen to it, it's going to be kind of hard. You might not really understand it. But then the second time, you've heard it before, you already understand the storyline of it. You understand what's happening. Third time, fourth time, it's easier. So I'm saying the easier the podcast gets, the more you can listen to it while doing other stuff. You can listen to it while you're in the shower now. You can listen to it while you're washing the dishes. You don't really need to concentrate that much and you're still absorbing all of that target language. For example, like for me, I can't shower and listen to a new podcast because it's either I'll listen too hard and stop showering, or I'll focus on showering too much and stop listening. Listen to the same podcast over and over and over again until the point that it's not really that difficult for you anymore, and you don't really have to like strain yourself that much to understand. You don't really have to be like, everybody quiet, I'm listening, shh, because you already know what's coming up next. This is just another way to identify the dead time you have in your day, because I get, like, we say we have no time to learn languages, but like when you think about all the times that your ears are just listening to nothing, you could literally be listening to some comprehensible input. And oh my gosh, when I get onto the next point, it's just like the cherry on top of this. I know I spend over an hour on travel a day for me to get to my classes and back. In total, it's like over an hour. So I could just use that time staring out the window, which I do. I do love staring out the window. However, more recently during that time, I've been doing flashcards. I've been doing some flashcards on the bus. When I get bored of that, I switch to a podcast, and when I get bored of that, I play music. But either way, I've taken advantage of at least 40 minutes of my journey doing something towards getting closer to my language goals. This is the cherry on top point that I was talking about. If you only have 20 minutes to listen to a podcast, like, make the most out of it. Shadow the podcast. And when I say shadow the podcast, you linguistic people might already have heard of this technique, but I'm going to explain it for those who don't know. Shadowing is basically when you listen to a piece of text. It can be a film, it can be a series, it can be a podcast, and you copy exactly what they say right after they say it, or that pro level at the same time that they say it. I do shadowing a lot for accents, not really for like how to speak, because I genuinely enjoy just having my video diaries and speaking to my laptop and speaking with natives at language exchanges. However, I have a particular accent that I am striving for, and I listen to podcasts in that accent. This is the accent from Medellin, by the way, Colombia. I listen to podcasts in that accent and I literally copy word for word like what they say after they say it. If they say something and then I say something and it sounds different, I'm like, rewind the track, and I do it again, and I do it again, and I do it again until it sounds the same. I've literally just seen another point on here which is so basic, like change the language of your phone. Like, if you haven't changed the language of your phone, like, what are you doing? There's so many new words that I've been learning in Spanish just by changing the language of my phone. Like, I know how to say unlock iPhone. What else? What else did I learn how to say? Play music. You can change your phone to another language, but if you don't want to read anything in that language, if you don't actually really want to learn that language, it's not going to work, because it's just going to be really, really, really frustrating. Like, I remember being like 15 or 16 and changing the language on my phone to French because I was studying French in school. I had no interest in learning French. Listen, a girl was just trying to do it for the grade. I did not care about French, like, no offense. But I changed my phone language into French, and I was just like, what? Like, everything on my phone became frustrating to me. Everything became annoying because I just didn't want to learn French and my phone was in French. So it was really, really annoying. And I have memories of being 15 and literally just not wanting to go on my phone because I didn't understand it. So don't do that. Don't do that, please. If you're a bookworm, if you like to read, whatever you're reading in your native language, by the translation. And obviously, this tip will be different depending on your level of Spanish because maybe the book you're reading in your native language you wouldn't understand in your target language just yet. But for those of you that are, maybe intermediate, I'd say give it a go. Definitely try it. Obviously, when you're learning something new, a new topic, a new tense, some new grammar, etc., it's going to be the most difficult on your brain and it's going to hurt the most. Like, it's going to be the most tiresome, etc., etc. So find the point of your day which you have the most energy. For me, that's probably the morning. I feel like in the morning, I'm like, on some Jeff Bezos energy. I'm on some Jeff Bezos vibe. I'm ready to make money. I wake up and I'm like, some people are more night owls. So, like, when it gets like nighttime, that's when they come alive. Find out which part of the day for you is that morning, lunchtime, bedtime that you have the most energy. And that's when you should save the most difficult part of your learning. You already know what times of the day you have the most energy and use that time to do the thing that takes up the most energy, which would be like the more intense parts of language learning. Also, exciting news for me is I am gonna sit the Dele C1 exam. Like, what? There's so much preparation I have to do for this. I am so scared. The C1 exam, like, that's the advanced level professional exam. I will have to do a lot of studying because I do not think if I went into that exam today I would pass. I'm going to be vlogging how I prepare for the Dele, how I study for the Dele. I will be vlogging like just everything, really, just everything that's related to this whole journey of from where I am today to a few months later when I finally sit the exam. But I'm just letting you guys know to expect some professional exam Dele vlogs to come out. If you too are interested in taking the professional exam, maybe not right now, maybe you've already taken it, maybe you want to take it in the future. If you've already sat the Dele exam, please let me know some insider tips and tricks, like share your experience because I am definitely nervous. Like, the exam is £200. So I cannot fail. I cannot fail this exam and I will not fail this exam. Amen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up because YouTube notifies me and I'm like, when I get the message. Also subscribe as well if you like this kind of content, and I will see you next week.